I like to help my creative friends become more spiritual, but I also like to help my spiritual friends become more creative. I go about this in a lot of different ways, and this little in vivo idea, just the networking of artist friends, allows me to experiment with a lot of things that I like to do. So one of those would be like land art, and that's basically, you may not know what that is, but it's just going out in the forest or the beside a river and creating art with what you find, trees and leaves and bushes and moss and rocks. Another thing I'm really passionate about is labyrinths. I create labyrinths. I have a website called Guerrilla Labyrinths, and to me they're it's like a spiritual symbol, and I love to inject these into just everyday life, because labyrinths are it's kind of like a metaphor for the journey of life. You know, you're called to enter this thing. You have to make this decision of, do I want to accept this challenge? And you decide to walk into it, and you feel confused and turned around, and then there's this moment where you come to the middle, and that kind of symbolizes, you know, you figuring out what life's about. It could symbolize for you, you know, finding God, or finding the peace you need, or even letting go of things, that you'd be able to stop here and let go of some of the junk you've been carrying. So it's pretty an open metaphor that you can just talk to people all day about. I love to play hide and seek. That sounds crazy, but in French it's called cache-cache. We develop these weekends where we just kind of challenge each other as creative Christians to come together and look for, you might say, signs of the divine, look for inspiration, look for transcendence. And even in the middle of a huge European city like Paris, to just realize that, no, if we look around, the same way Jesus walked through a rural environment and he stuck out his hand and he grabbed wheat and he talked about it, made a metaphor with it and taught with it, then we should be able to look around in an urban context and see things and create equally powerful metaphor. But I would say personally for me, what my passion would be in all of this is to create community, to create a different sort of community, spiritual community that would allow some of these artists that I connect with to explore faith in a really unique way, in an open source, creative, collaborative way. Sometimes normal church kind of shuts that down and wants to box things up. There's the right answers and there's wrong answers. But I think an artist is exploring art and sound and music and movement, and they're asking questions all about that. And so I think that applies to faith too. They need a place where they can explore it and feel safe to ask questions, even if they're wrong questions or dumb questions. And a place where, you know, the rest of the community can be patient as they work through some stuff, and not to condemn them too quickly, and let them, because they see life as a work of art. And so church and these kind of communities should be a work of art too, where they're collaborative, where they're working together and creating something unique and different.